indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's bow our heads for a short prayer. Okay, Jimmy, we're gonna have a prayer. We'll just wait for you to get up here. Okay, our dear Father, we just ask for your wisdom today again. We ask to help us remain humble as we make decisions for the citizens of this county. We are blessed with the ability to have the freedoms that we have. Constantly, we want to thank you for those. Lord, to just help us to have a good week, a safe week as we attend the conference. We also would pray for our department heads that they assume the leadership that's needed and continue to do the good job they're doing. We ask this in your name, amen.
Amen.
I will now carry up. You got the same email I did.
Make some up and get me all this stuff, not very much.
Jim, after the meeting, we got to.
Let's go ready to do it all.
You okay with the minutes?
Yep, go forward with the minutes.
All right, I make a motion to approve the minutes from November 25th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, motion by Stan, seconded by Doug. The minutes are approved.
There they are.
Tony, you're on.
Okay. First thing I'll do, I put in front of you this morning, the utilities paid in Lao, and I also laid out the 2024-2025 comparisons for y'all to look at. The utilities paid in Lao amount is $29,150.82, $29,150.82.
Saw nothing unusual from my seat on that, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I kind of looked at the comparison. I do still appreciate that. You know, it looks like the big thing that went up is NIPSCO, but generally things are just cost of living increase, so I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion is made by Doug, seconded by Stan to approve the prepaid utilities. That motion passes.
Okay. Next thing I have is the Allied weekly health insurance claims. Those are all medical. They're in the amount of $7,742.57. $7,742.57.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Prove that quick before it changes. Huh?
Second.
Motion by Stan, seconded by Doug. That motion passes.
I had also emailed out to everyone the monthly clerk report submitted by Shelley Bright, if you would like to approve entering that into the record.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Doug, seconded by Stan. That motion passes.
And I laid before you minutes ago, the monthly treasurer's report submitted by Treasurer Ed Dyer. If you would like to enter that into the record.
Make a motion, we enter the treasurer's report into the record.
I'll second motion.
Motion passes.
Pass these out to you guys. You don't have enough paper to fill in this meeting. That's upside down.
Our processor, my process is breaking down this morning.
Get you a file.
File over here. Once they're done, there's.
Okay, I just handed you the animal control report submitted by Chad Springer. And looks like there was a total mileage of 146.
Copies? You have copies? Okay.
I gotta make a copy.
That's fine. I'll take one, give one. I'll get one, yeah. We'll get later.
I know we're not a huge county, but transporting 6 animals is a good news in my opinion. So I move we approve Chad's report, and mileage amounts to $102.20.
I'll second that.
Motion by motion by Doug, seconded by Stan. That motion.
I did talk to Mike Heiser a little bit yesterday. He said things are going well.
That's a pound.
Good,
Good.
good deal.
I mean, we're fortunate. We don't get much.
He said they're still glad to have the opportunity to
Good.
do it.
Good.
Good. Sounds
deal.
good.
Yeah.
It's a bargain.
Yeah.
And I have payroll claims. Payroll claims are in the amount of $391,799.74.
What is that now, Tony?
$391,799.74 payroll claims.
Okay.
I think everyone's once paid,
Well,
Stan.
this was a 3-week or 3 payroll
I think
month.
there's an extra payroll in there.
Yeah. I'll make a motion, we approve the payroll claims.
Second,
Motion by Stan, seconded by Doug. Payroll's approved.
Okay, and I have one other thing. Treasurer Dyer asked that I bring up, and I am also bringing up for my office. I don't know technically if we need action on this, but we've done it in the past. I think it's only right we get approval from the commissioners. Christmas luncheon for our staffs. The auditor's office would like to go on Thursday, December 18th, and treasurer's office Friday, December 19th. And while each is gone, the other will kind of watch the other's office. So if you all.
So
would
we really
approve-
won't close an office, huh?
Technically, no, because we'll watch theirs, and they'll watch ours while we're doing that. But I still like to get approval.
I have no problem, granting approval for those Christmas luncheons.
I'll second that.
Motion passes.
And that is all that I have. You better let Nate get up here because he got quite a bit.
Come on up, Nate. Good news first, right?
Yeah, we'll start with the good news and then I'll keep it too longer than you want.
So
So,
we'll just call this the commissioner/engineer meeting.
well, I thought this will be slow, so I'll just put this one complicated thing in and then multiple other things came up. So then this got really, really long. So first thing first, as Steve's kind of hinting at some good news. I got an email late yesterday that NDOT has awarded Adams County some of the community crossings matching grant funds that we had requested. We got a letter and you have a copy of it there for you, that Adams County was awarded $516,101.36, so just over $500,000. And based on that dollar amount, that matches the request for our Bridge 142 rehabilitation project. So we had submitted two, we did receive one of them. As I'd said before, it's certainly far more competitive this year, and in conversation with Brad, we've heard rumors from other communities that have been declined or denied funding. So I count ourselves very fortunate for that. It's a good project, and with that, I'm gonna request your approval to issue that project out for bid, because one of the things they have is a fairly short time frame on getting bids and contracts back in so we can secure that money. So, but good news for the community. Thank you to everybody that put into getting that project to this point, and thank you to NDOT for.
I move that, we grant our county engineer permission to advertise Bridge 142. And, thank goodness the funds are in place.
Absolutely.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion
Speaking of
passes.
the, community crossing matching grant, is that something that is going to be continuing on in the years to come, or is that something that's being phased out a little bit?
They certainly reduced it significantly. The rumor I've heard is that it might actually get they had a very strong presence with it. It's been reduced probably by about a third of what it was, so almost 70% reduction in it. And likely it's gonna probably come back closer to what it was or somewhere in the middle, but that's just gonna depend on legislation.
Okay.
So the governor wanted to reprogram some things with the new governor restructuring it, so it's likely it will be something in the middle. There'll probably be a lot of conversation about it at Commissioners Conference. I'm kind of surprised they announced this before conference, but there's gonna be a lot of talk amongst other commissioners
Well,
who
sometimes
were and
the,
were not.
sometimes the titles change, but the funds are there.
Yeah, so there'll be some funds there, but just to be some moving around. So there'll be a lot of discussion. You'll have to let me know what other commissioners are having to say. Second item here is Bridge 105. Milestone has turned in their payment and performance bonds as well as a signed contract for the work. I'm just recommending your approval and signatures on that construction agreement for that project.
No problem, Stan.
I'll second that.
Oh, okay, I'll make the motion. officially.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make the motion. We, address Bridge 105. Stan
Something,
second, I think, Steve.
Okay, my motion passes. So I'll go ahead.
yeah,
Guess we all
something.
need to sign here.
Yep, you'll have, there's a signature for all three of you on that, and for Tony to attest. Something I did not get on this list, this should be fairly quick, is small structure installations. I received quotes on Tuesday of last week. I had solicited from 5 different contractors. I received quotes from 2, KBL and Ish Excavating for the projects. Ish Excavating was the low on all 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 projects. And that includes culvert 72, 129, 138, 223, 232, and 239. And I can give you the dollar amounts for each one of those if you want, but I'm requesting approval to authorize these quotes for those projects. I believe, Steve, you have a copy of those.
I do.
Okay. And I turned those over to Tony as well. Ish was, their quote for culvert 72 was $35,700. On 129, they had a quote for $27,150. 138 was $18,150. 223 was $23,450. 232 was $24,600. And 239 was $26,900. And with your approval, I'll find those, accept those quotes and turn those.
Do you want to do them all together?
I think we can, yeah.
I'd make that motion to approve those quotes.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion passes.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry about missing that on that list. I wouldn't have had all these on the same day if I had known what all I was gonna get at the end of the day yesterday. And then lastly, I know there's been discussion about this. Doug, you participated in some meetings with some of the property owners in the area. And I wanted to bring this up, and that is the recommendation for the vacation of County Bridge 153, including a portion of County Road 1100 South, 50 West, and 1125 South. The vacation covers that road section between US 27 and an area 670 feet west of the intersection of County Road 25 West. Total road length proposed is a vacation of approximately 1 mile. There are 1 bridge and 1 culvert are impacted, Bridge 153, that carries 1100 south over the Loblolly. It is a single span bridge with a span of 55 feet. Bridge was originally constructed with side-by-side box beams that are exposed over a spread footer. The spread footer appears to be the original from 1930. Box beams were installed as a rehab project back in 1985. Due to the condition, this bridge is in need of replacement this time. Culvert 438 is just an existing 30-inch diameter reinforced concrete balance pipe. So it's actually below the roadway, below the ordinary high water mark. So it sets essentially full of water constantly. It just allows water to cross underneath the roadway when it can, but it certainly is inadequate for size, but it does address one of the ditches there. The justification for this recommendation based on the roadway is constructed of a gravel road within the existing Loblolly wetland area and is below the existing flood elevation. The roadway proposed for vacation is subject to regular flooding and is made impassable to the public during flood events. From a permitting perspective, to raise the roadway, the ability to construct a stable road surface is just not feasible due to the location within the floodplain. The need of the road, use of the roadway doesn't warrant the high cost for the county to upgrade the road to a suitable surface. From a security standpoint, the roadway is currently used for dumping of trash in the wetland and has been reported that individuals have been meeting in that roadway for transfers of conversations, let's say. During flood events, the roadway is also covered with moving waters that's difficult to estimate the depth and pose a hazard to the traveling public that is not suitable for turnarounds. There's really no place to turn around once they make that, and it's difficult to make early warnings for the drivers during any sort of high water. Public nuisance, the highway department has routinely been sent out to clear trash that has been dumped along the isolated roadway. Maintenance costs, the current aggregate roadway is prone to flood damage, so when the flood waters are there, it flows the aggregate off the road, and we have to bring in additional stone to try to maintain that at a rate that's kind of not measurable, or not measurable, but it's not reasonable based on the use of the roadway. Also for Red Gold, the roadway cuts through the Geneva Red Gold's campus, making it difficult to secure their campus, and it poses risk to their employees that are working and walking in those areas and for the drivers that might be using that roadway. Regarding Bridge 153, the bridge is currently in fair condition, which is just above poor. So when we use fair, we have to realize that there's excellent, good, fair, and then poor, but it is at the edge of turning into a poor bridge. Due to its crossing the Loblolly Creek and the need to protect the waterway, the replacement bridges, the construction complicates and risks are just really too high for me comfortably to recommend proceeding with a replacement project. The foundation condition is currently a 1930 spread footer. So you're talking about a foundation of that bridge is now about 95 years old. The waterway, the ordinary channel of the Loblolly does stay within that 55-foot span structure, but the floodwaters necessitate crossing over the roadway to the east. Some of the exhibits you see on the page 3 shows you the limits of the Loblolly and the Wabash River floodplain, and that really extends that full 1 mile length of that whole roadway. For comparison, the old railroad trail bridge that spans the Loblolly to the south is about 110-foot span compared to the 55 of Bridge 153. And the US 27 bridge over the Loblolly is about 160-foot span bridge. So you're talking about a minimum 3-foot span structure. So you got multiple piers and multiple bridge beam sets. A replacement bridge at this location would likely require a span of 160 feet or greater. Permitting in this sort of area would be very complicated. Certainly something that would multiple stages and steps within the USGS and RCS for that work. The right-of-way acquisition, the county would likely be required to acquire right-of-way for both the roadway and floodplain storage that would be disturbed during construction of the replacement bridge. Possible eminent domain, because you'd be forced to condemn right-of-ways that are outside the floodplain or near the floodplain to create areas that you would be filling in. Use of the bridge just doesn't warrant the high cost for the replacement of the structure, because you're going to have to create such a large bridge to accommodate the Loblolly. Overall cost of a project of that type is for preliminary cost estimates of just the construction alone is upwards of $2 million. This just doesn't, and that doesn't include the soft cost of planning, engineering, permitting, and modeling of a structure in this environmentally insensitive area. So after review of this project and discussion with Brad, it's my recommendation and our recommendation that the county consider closing, eliminating this bridge, and closing and vacating the roadway that I've outlined here for you. So
I've got a couple questions.
sure.
Number one, I would have to assume that under the need, this does not serve any crucial or practical travel for commercial or private use, or it does not, by closing this, it does not deny private landowners access to their property.
We've done some reviews of this already to see how private landowners would have access. Because Red Gold owns a significant portion there to the west, all of their operations would be protected. There are some nature preserve areas in the middle in that section, and I believe they have access elsewhere. There are some landowners that would still retain access to the on the east. There's a potential for some of these property owners when we notify them that they may want to maintain some of this additional existing right of way as private easements or a joint easement, but it wouldn't necessitate that we keep a full roadway, a public roadway. So at some point they could theoretically gate and use the old roadway. So I don't know.
It would just be on them.
It would be on them to maintain that at that point, and then they would essentially own to the center of the old roadway.
That brings up another question. When we vacate a bridge, does that actually transfer ownership, like say in this case to Red Gold? I mean, would they own and operate the bridge, or?
That's a question I don't know the full answer to, because this isn't something that I've ever had to do before or recommended to do before.
Because if they wanted to, they could take ownership since it's their,
So that's something.
There's a whole process to vacate by statute. And so there's we have to go through that process. It depends on, who the adjoining owners are. And adjoining owners can object to the proposed vacation on numerous grounds, potentially. And so I've already reached out to the foundation. There's a Dr. Brickley Foundation that owns this ground adjacent to the road that we're talking about, other than Red Gold. And so I have spoke to one of the trustees, and their concern was if we vacate, they still want us to maintain it. So the question is, to what extent are we required to maintain? We have to make sure we provide access from the county road. The question is, how far in do we have to maintain it? And that's something I'm looking at. So there's a process. And when you vacate, when the commissioners adopt an ordinance vacating a road, which includes the right of way, then title to that property typically by default reverts one half to the owner on the north and one half to the owner on the south. And if that's the same person or individual, then they got it all. And so Red Gold, it would default anything that we vacate that Red Gold owns on both sides, then they would own it free and clear. They would own it all afterwards. And so we've just got to figure out how far back can we go and kind of negotiate with that landowner and see what type of access
that
they
sure
want.
seems bad if we'd still have to maintain the bridge.
I don't think you'll have to do that. Because Red Gold's on both
Red
sides
Gold's
of
on
it,
both sides of the
east
bridge,
and
right?
west. Right.
But it'd just be their bridge.
Well, I think we ought to, start the process.
Yeah, whatever that process is.
Whatever the process
I mean,
is.
I'd hate to see them drive a semi across it and fall in the river and then say, oh, hey. you
I'm
guys
having
didn't-"
trouble turning on these FEMA flood layers. I don't know, they changed our GIS site.
Yeah, there's
Not for the better.
FEMA map, and then there's the best available, DNR best available map.
Yeah,
So
and
there's
it's not-
both tabs that'll want to come
I'll have
up.
to have you look at this because it's not showing.
Yeah, not showing up for you on that.
No,
Mark, if we initiate
There's
the,
a print on the third page of that I handed you that's got the FEMA maps on it. So if you.
if we initiate the process of vacating, how approximately what do you feel would be a reasonable time frame for this to get taken care of?
probably 60 days.
Wow.
So if we do this, would we have to have a public hearing?
I believe so.
Yes.
And do you still have to, at one time or another, I know when we vacated another, we had to get the owners, property owners had to agree with it, every one of them.
Well, that depended on, you mean vacating a county road?
Yeah, like a
That
mud
was-
road that we did.
Yeah, I remember, yeah. Well, that's because they have to have access to their property.
Okay.
And so that becomes an access.
Well, I'm all for initiating the process, and once it's completed, then you'd have to sign it appropriately. And on the east end, I was just wondering where it ends on the red, if we would be required to have some type of a turnaround.
It's
If-
possible
yeah.
that we'll have to do some sort of turnaround or signage that, there's a few things that we'll have to do to accommodate that if you're in agreement to proceed with this recommendation. It's obviously with this right now, it's not a final.
Right,
project as
I
far as a
get it.
Proposal, I think we want to, I certainly want to, and I know you do too, is hear from the landowners. But I don't want to necessarily go out to them without making the recommendation, explaining the rationale as to why we're even considering doing this. It just
Right.
doesn't make good sense for the use of the Cume Bridge Fund for such an expensive
Right,
structure.
exactly.
And it's been a nuisance for the highway department.
Well, Steve, I make a motion, we initiate the process.
Yeah, I'll second that based on, the road and the bridge no longer serve the public or private interest for the county to continue to maintain.
So a motion to begin the process of vacating the specified areas, bridges, passes.
Over, okay.
Motion by Doug, second by Stan.
Yeah, it looks like about 1,500 feet from 50 west.
Okay.
I mean, if you gotta maintain 1,500 feet to turn around, that's not a big deal.
This is, what I show right now on that is really the most area. And if we have to negotiate with some property owners for other maintenance and limited access, there may be something that's a halfway point.
We'll figure it out.
Obviously, we'll figure out that plan.
Okay,
Okay,
it's 60 days.
thank you.
What's
Yeah,
the green area on this third map?
That's just a different zoning of flood plain. So that orange area that you're seeing, like mustard color is,
So
that is prone to the most likely area, and that actually has movement to it. So that when the loblolly comes out of its banks, it covers that whole area.
that whole
That whole
area.
area floods. It is
Wow.
impassable.
It
So,
floods how far back? To 50?
yeah, oh yeah. So that whole shaded area is part of that, is that 100-year flood elevation.
Wow.
So it's not the first area that crosses with water, is it, Brad? But it's,
not the first one.
it is pretty frequent at least. So, but again, thank you.
Yep.
Nate, refresh my memory, what are we signing here?
That is the Bridge 1 and 42. So I will scan that and put that on the plans when they go advertised. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Out of courtesy, do we need to, notify Red Gold of our intent, or do we just wait on the process?
It'll be all part of Mark's.
I would
have been
assume
in-
you'll work with Mark's office to make sure we cross our i's, dot t's, get notices out.
And I've been emailing one of the engineers at Red Gold over the last 9 months since we've met. I've been reaching out to him about every quarter with kind of updates, asking questions. So this is really just the next step for us.
Okay, thank you.
That's the 80%.
Thanks, Nate. Good work there. Brad, what have you got for us this morning,
Not a whole lot.
other than clearing snow?
The first thing, yeah, as you guys kind of heard earlier, the phones are still acting up. And I want to make sure, if it gets out in the media or whatever, we're there. We're there during the day, but normally it takes the third time calling and then we can answer it. So pick it up and there's nobody there.
Nice if the papers could mention that because everybody.
Yeah,
we're all
and
having
it's the
it.
same for, like Mark said, it's covered the whole area, but it's also most of the, what did I say, our county government offices. Has the same effect.
Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to put that out there.
This isn't the first time you've had to come to us, so I hate that. We had a discussion with Mike Brown
Yeah,
earlier today
Yes.
about, he's gonna go before council next week and
yeah.
begin the process of replacing that whole phone system and getting a different phone strategy. So
Yeah, it's not the first time. I think this is probably the longest, at this point, so. Then, yes, correct. The other thing is snow. We came, worked all day Sunday. The guys went out and scraped and then salted. Came in yesterday early and just to touch up what was there, what they done. The few spots that might have still been there. And then at the end of the day, boy, it was melting ice when that sun come out.
Yeah,
And then overnight,
yeah, we got
this came and we were in early again. But
Well, I think you did a good job. I mean, you had trucks out by 6 o'clock and, the V blades were getting the slush off the road and then you put belly blades down and scraped it as best you could.
Yep.
And so, then when we got this snow last night, the roads were, not all rutted up. You had them nice and clean so that
Yep.
they would clean up again this time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think we were in good shape through both snows. So,
I keep thinking, as the weather, snow comes, forecast comes, and I'm thinking, now, if I was a superintendent, what would I do? So I appreciate your leadership. That's not easy, they're not easy calls.
thank you. Yeah. And then according to Jim's good friend, Rick McCoy, we're in a La Nina pattern. So this could be this
Could
way
be
all
a
winter.
prelude to next 3 months.
Okay.
Anyhow, thank you.
Yeah, boy, okay.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey Brad, how much snow fell roughly, you think? 4 to 6 or?
I mean, last night,
Overall.
well, it depends where you were.
Oh,
So I've got employees up here north of Decatur at 8 inches for the first one.
8 inches.
And Burn, I had 4. South, did you have 3?
3 to 4 on the first, probably a good 2 to 3 last night again.
And then maybe 3 last
I
night,
told you to have out
all of them.
Oh, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
There's 12 townships.
Okay.
There's one in each and then three pickup trucks for ours.
Okay, 15.
Hey Brad, you might refresh, I know you had it figured at one time about how long it takes to cover the entire county one time.
Yeah, so we came in, at 6 o'clock Sunday morning and we worked till about 3. Depending on how the
Yeah.
condition, of course, 8 inches up north
Right.
and south. The north roads all got plowed. But some of those guys didn't have time to salt everything. Now, the
Right.
guys down south, they could scrape them and turn around and salt them, then go touch them up tomorrow. So you're talking 6 to 8 hours.
To just, for at least one pass.
Yes, yes.
And approximately what, 700 miles, 650, 700?
654 miles.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not a quick procedure, everybody wants their road first.
Yeah.
You had a whole different type of snow last night than you did on the.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
It's a lot drier
Yep.
and the weekend.
Yeah.
Rick McCoy and I, everybody, we talked about an hour the other night. He said, I told you that La Nina's gonna screw up our winter this year.
That means it's more snow.
Thanks, Brad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't see Rick out there right now. I saw him in here a few minutes ago,
Yeah.
but he must have had to step back out. Tom, what have you got for us this morning?
A while back, I told you about my software company teaming up with a company about fraud protection. And what they want to do is work with me about sending out some letters to what they consider the high risk people in the county. What I want to do is get a copy of the letter. I'd like to show it to Mark or Clayton, make sure there's no liability on me because it's coming from them, but then my name's going to be on it to show that they are working with me. And I wanted to kind of do a media blitz before too, so it's, because a couple counties did it and didn't announce that they were doing it. And they got a lot of calls wondering what's going on, like, why so.
Unfortunately, anytime we communicate anymore, my first gut reaction is it's fraud.
Right.
And I'm not gonna respond and I'm not gonna click on that link and I'm not gonna call and I'm not gonna do anything. So I think you have to preface it with a statement that says that
It is coming
it
out.
is
I know
coming
about
and,
this
and,
right.
yeah.
And I've also talked with the sheriff and he's gonna help me with the social media part on it, because he's got a bigger following than what we have.
Now, this company, and I assume that if one of our residents takes advantage of this, there's a fee for the service?
There is a fee, and they're going to, actually on this letter, they're gonna discount it even more. They discount it now, it's like $150 to sign up. But they already discounted it for it since I signed the contract with them to $100, then about $100 a year. They're gonna probably discount it even more to help, to see if people will help sign up. So.
Could I ask Mark a question? People assume if you got title insurance, you don't have to worry about this stuff, but what is people's risk on something like this?
It's changing a little bit, but no, the title insurance isn't necessarily the issue. It's the fraud, and if somebody goes into a closing and represents that they're the owner of a property and a bank, and they represent themselves as a seller, and then the bank finances the buyer and a closing occurs, then the seller, takes the money, and then then the mortgage doesn't get paid, and then they go to find out, well, wait a minute, there's somebody else in possession, or their house gets sold and somebody else has ownership, and then it becomes an issue for people later when they're trying to, they get a summons and then they're trying to straighten up the issue. But a thief can never acquire title. Okay, so somebody that doesn't own your property, that deeds your property to somebody else, or goes in and signs a mortgaging your property, that's the other way they do it, and then you get a notice of foreclosure, and you say, well, I never took out a loan. It's really, it's the bank's problem, but your problem then is responding to that foreclosure. And so you'll have some expense involved in that, but that's not covered by title insurance. And so that's what, they're doing. We're not seeing that happen you know, in our county right now.
There was 2 cases, I think, last year down in Floyd County, and they've got it all reversed already.
Yeah. So,
Are there people that are more at risk than others? Or not
no,
necessarily?
not necessarily.
Well, what they tell us on our side, that if you do not have a mortgage, and especially if you do not live in your house all year, you're a little bit higher risk because they can send out notices to your address. You're not getting them because you're in Florida, you might, or it takes delayed. They think those little people are a little higher at risk than if you don't have, or you don't have a mortgage.
Yeah, absentee owners.
Right.
Yeah.
I see.
So if you're not paying attention to your property, then yeah, you're at risk. But, you know, typically around here, everybody does. And,
Right.
but it's really, it's identity theft is the starting point for this stuff. It's what it really is. And most title companies are adopting verification services.
Well, and out, even out in Oklahoma, they're getting to the point of, they are implementing either fingerprint recognition or facial recognitions to just close off on the titles. So I don't know if that's gonna be down the road for us too, but I mean, Oklahoma's already started that.
Tom, do we have an issue? Maybe Smart too. Do we have an issue of the county promoting a private practice, private for-profit entity? Looking as we're sponsoring this, or at least we're promoting it. Is that something that we've done typically?
I mean, I tell people if they wanna go out on their own, like on title, with Title Lock or anything like that, they're more than welcome. It's just that my software company teamed with this one to try and get anybody in our counties a little bit of a discount. But if Mark feels that's the thing, then I'll be more than welcome not to.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it, but
So you'll get
Yeah.
to Mark
Yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
proposing this,
Yeah.
and you're gonna include that. How are you gonna get that delivered?
They're taking care of all the delivery.
So they're gonna mail it. Yeah, there's where the
That's why I
rub
I
comes
wanna
in.
try and get more out there that something might be coming.
Yeah, how'd you get my mortgage?
Right.
And
How did you get my name?
How'd you get
'Cause,
my
I mean, I
information?
just had a gentleman in yesterday that says he owns property in Randolph County. He's been getting 3 phone calls a week asking if they want to sell a property. And he was asking me, he was in my office, he owns land up here too. What can we do to stop that? I don't know if there is anything that you can stop on.
well, yeah, I think it comes down to what are they using the data for? And if it's to contact people to sell, yeah, I don't know, we need to, you know, we contract with firms to provide the pay by credit card system, but that's a little bit different.
yeah, that's an advantage to us.
Right.
This
So,
really
yeah.
doesn't benefit us.
No, so yeah, let me take a look at it.
Okay, the second part is, last November, up in my office, I have a large book scanner that if I need a copy out of one of my large books, your commission books, okay, I could take it instead of trying to put it on a regular scanner. The machine was purchased in 2016-ish. And every year since then, we've signed a maintenance agreement for them to Priority Engineering to service it. I paid it last November. My book scanner went down and I've been trying at least 6 months to get a hold of them to fix it. And I cannot get them they returned my call once, told me to put the recovery key in it. I tried that, told them that it did not work. And again, I emailed, I called, and I cannot get back from them. I end up having to pay the company that they get it from to come fix it for about $3,000. And I didn't know, I contacted Mark and Clayton about, is there a way that we can get some of this maintenance fee returned?
How much is the maintenance fee?
$3,500. Clayton suggested I come get your approval. I don't know if you want to say.
I think arguably, and looking at the agreement that we had with the vendor that failed to respond and failed to perform maintenance, I mean, it's a breach of contract, but obviously I would Tom needs to come get your approval if we're gonna move forward, because obviously the more time we spend on it, that even feeds into, you know, collecting any amount back.
It's a fine line. Do I go after it to get some back, or is it gonna cost too much to get anything back?
I don't know the answer to that, but I know a scanner that's 10 years old probably is, I wonder about the viability of a 10-year-old scanner regardless. Going forward, that's neither here nor there on this question, I guess, but
What kind of a vendor are we working with that won't respond to your inquiries?
The company's Priority Engineering out of Indianapolis. I mean, they've always been, in the past, they've always been attentive. They, you know,
So
anytime I
it's
got it,
just
they.
changed all at once then?
Yep, this year.
Sure, you're talking to the same people?
sold or something.
We could maybe try like from, and Mark can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe from like an economical standpoint, at least first, just try with like a more of a demand letter from our office. Going through these background facts, kind of stating, you know, if you're liable for this payment. But completely up to you all.
And I'm curious, kind of curious, because last year they sent it to me on December 4th. I'm kind of interested to see if they send me a new one this year, which. Because I think if next time it goes down, I'm gonna probably look at upgrading.
You just
They're
pay once a
expensive.
year, pay the
Huh?
maintenance fee once a year.
How much is this new scanner?
The new one would be about 30,000. But I would have, I have.
How often do you use it?
Now it's not as much since I've had all the books scanned in my office, but if the computers are down or if something's going on, like right now I've had, Brad and,
Nate?
not so much Dave, but, Mike Worland's come in one, cause his books aren't scanned, needing copies out of his books.
Okay, well, these books are gonna get scanned, I think, here soon.
And the more all the books are scanned, the less it's gonna be used, but I don't know, do we go without it? I mean, that's the thing.
Why don't you, maybe their Better Business Bureau could give you an update on this firm to see if they've changed ownership, if others are having issues with their response.
Well, I talked to a couple other counties and they said they haven't had to call them because they haven't had a problem with their scanner to see if the engineer.
Okay. Seems odd that all at once they're just
But
not
I did try,
responding.
there is their competitor, called Easton Engineering. They used to service this scanner, but they switched to another scanner, so they're not so much servicing this one anymore. So, they said they would check to see if they wanted to maybe pick us up to start servicing that too. But like I said, I thought I'd try, it might not be worth it, you know, maybe a letter.
I like Clayton's approach to, let's send them a demand letter, and see where that goes.
And if it doesn't go anywhere, we just live and learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We need to make a motion to that, or just?
I don't think so.
Let's just see what we can do.
I'll work that out.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Rick, come on up. Good morning.
Hi.
It is. Most of you broke it.
Steve, you sent out an email
Oh, boy.
before Thanksgiving. And I didn't respond to you, but because I wanted to tell you personally, thank you. Basically, the email said this: just a quick note to express my sincere appreciation to Adams County leadership team. I don't take it for granted, and it's a privilege. It is a privilege to work with a team that can collaborate, discuss, and even disagree occasionally with civility and respect. No doubt that we have the very best team in government in the state. Best wishes for each of you and your staff to have a blessed Thanksgiving. Much appreciated.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that we do have the best team in Adams, in the state, and we don't always agree, but we always respect each other and listen to each other. I think that's more important than always agree.
And who sent that?
I did.
Steve. Oh, yeah.
That's the one that I said.
I thought that sounded
I just-
familiar.
yeah, that's what
Read
I
it.
said.
Important to say
Yeah.
that. Anyway,
Where I should put the minutes.
well, we're dealing with snow, as probably Brad is too. And all the above. Basically, have a lot of it out a couple days last week. But if you guys have something for me,
Look, the
Lovely.
little I walked this morning, everything looked great. So I don't know who's out there at 6 AM or whatever time you got in here this morning to get things cleared, but thank you.
and I do want to thank the city has
Right.
helped us. And, I know that there's times when we're not all perfect. Maybe we miss a cobweb, maybe we miss getting the windows clean, but I'll tell you what, Yolanda and Phil are right here shoveling. When everybody else, I think, is home. Anyway, thank you for everybody. that helped
Now,
us.
I just, I noticed there was a guy out here actually working a shovel by hand. Who, is that a city employee then?
Well, it
Or
probably
a parks
was.
employee?
To be honest, we were here at 4:30. I came in here Sunday and shoveled this by hand. And the city came in right when I got here to plow and everything. But, a lot of it has to be shoveled, just like the steps here. You
Right,
gotta
right.
shovel. Some over at the courthouse needs to be shoveled.
Right.
And you gotta get the wheelchair ramp shoveled. So there is shoveling that does
Yeah.
go on. It's a heavy snow too.
Yeah.
It's heavy snow.
Yeah, that was,
Anything we can do to help.
by
that's-
Sunday
it's a
morning,
lot to
that was
ask.
terrible, heavy.
Yeah, it
Oh my
was.
gosh.
But I knew it had to get off, otherwise we were gonna be in a
Yeah,
mess.
if it froze down, then you never get it all.
And what happens is people even walk on it. Say someone comes in over the weekend, that just turns right to ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you almost got to get it before anybody can get on it.
You have to.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, every snow's different, that's for sure.
Well, and Rick, I don't want you to forget that, I would go to bat for you if you decide we need to contract that out to a service to get those odds and ends done like that.
a year ago, I had seen, just because I knew him and knew the family, Wellman Landscaping, he cleans the post office.
Mhm.
And I asked him, if he would be interested in doing certain things, and he's just swamped. He's
Yeah.
busy. I can't take on anymore. I go, do you know of anybody else? He goes, just about everybody else is the same way.
Well, if you can find somebody, I guess I would support us looking to get you some help relating to these, especially these weather-related emergencies.
If you gentlemen aren't busy, I'd like to maybe just have 5 minutes of your time when the meeting's over.
Sure.
Not long at all.
Okay.
Very good. Thanks, Rick.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate your work. Appreciate your team's work. Let's see Mark out here yet. Mark Wynn.
He said he got a screw in his tire. He should be here around 11.
Oh, shoot. Doggone it. What a pain. Mark and Clayton, what have you guys got for us this morning?
Anything?
I don't have anything new.
You gotta have something to fill 10 minutes.
I copied you guys on an email yesterday from Meridian Health, who's taking over the sponsorship of the WIC program.
Yep.
And they would like to have, even though they're not long-term gonna stay in this building, because they've transitioned to new sponsorship, they would like to have a lease. And I told them we would go and enter into a month-to-month extension with them.
Yep.
So if you all would work on getting them something to look at, or us something to look at from the lease, month-to-month lease, cancelable 30 days notice kind of thing.
Yep.
Either party.
Yep,
So they've got something to hang their hat on.
Yeah, I think I gave that information to Brooke. She's already working on it.
Okay.
We'll prepare that.
As you guys know, we did give notice to WIC
Right.
last year, but they transitioned from kind of a new sponsoring agency. And as you know, when that happens, some of that gets lost in translation. So I've been communicating with Meridian Health out of Muncie, who's now sponsoring kind of the overseer for the WIC program for the state. And he asked for a new lease.
I have to assume that that program is gonna stay viable and
It
active.
sounds to me like it is. They're looking for new space. They know that they're not long-term gonna stay in this building. But they also, for their insurance purposes, they would like to have a lease. I told them, consider themselves comfortable through March first anyway. Give them a couple of months to find space
Well,
since
and
they're
then-
kind of new in the
Yeah,
saddle.
it's not like we want them to stop their program.
No. So I told them, I said, we'll work with you, but we'll get a month-to-month lease and then with 30 days notice, either side can cancel. So nothing else, guys, for us? Okay, Shannon, what have you got for us this morning?
I don't have anything, but thank you.
Whoa, are we gonna fill the next 8 minutes then?
Christmas came early, didn't it?
Yeah, gosh.
Maybe you can come next, see the next or.
Mark, we're just waiting on Mark Wynn.
You know, just kind of a little bit of a response to Rick's comment on your email, Steve. I did see that you decided to, look for another term as commissioner, and I do appreciate that. I appreciate, you know, the way you communicate with department heads and employees, and appreciate working with you, and so I was glad to see that.
Thank you. It's been a good experience for me, and hopefully the residents and taxpayers of Adams County feel like that they've got their money's worth, but I guess we'll find out.
You run next year, right? You run next year,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
But I was glad to see that, yeah.
You're only hired or fired by the voters.
That's right. Doug, anything for the good of the cause?
Boy, I don't, just, you know, like I told Brad, you know, and Rick same way. You know, when weather-related things happen, you know, I know that the buck stops here,
Yeah.
but they're the ones that have to make the tough decisions out there. And
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I keep waiting for my phone to ring from an upset resident about something. And I haven't got that phone call yet this year, so
I've got
Because
So-
phones aren't working.
those aren't working.
that's one of those cases of no news is good news.
I guess, one of the things, I guess, is, Brad, I know you're not fully staffed. Are you looking at, filling a void that you have out there?
Yep, Shannon and I have talked about it.
Okay,
Good. Well, I see 33 got opened back up, so
yeah.
my crossing guard responsibilities in front of Adams Central get a lot lighter whenever all that traffic that was rerouted along 124 start to go down 33 again. That's all good.
Yes. Yeah, we don't have near the trucks coming down Polk Street.
Yes, I'm sure that was a problem also. Yeah, they were finding their way, picking their way through that, weren't they?
We got Nate's.
Yeah. Nate looks like Santa Claus.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he should be here at 11. So
Okay.
we'll see.
Very good.
I don't know. That sounds like he must have already gotten the tire fixed in his own way to me.
We had council on aging meeting the other day, and Michelle was, very happy with the response from the federal, monies coming back and from the state monies coming back that
My
she told
gosh,
us
yeah,
about.
yeah.
And, we as the board did decide to go ahead and increase, wages for the drivers.
Good.
So she
I
can
know that was a
keep-
mission.
Cause
She
she
was on a mission.
needs more drivers. And the board did go ahead to, vote to increase her salary
Okay,
also.
good.
And, so it falls well within her expected income for the year, and so.
Did they have was there an issue with some transportation things in Wells County that she's kind of picking up on? I thought I read something about that.
Yeah, there is a group, that, Wells County had transported, no longer gonna transport, I don't know why, we're gonna pick those up.
He didn't give me anything else.
He's gonna send you
I didn't read that. Now I can't remember what the details were,
Yeah, I
doggone
can't
it.
either.
But yeah, her transportation, obviously, like she said, continues to increase. But the other thing she's doing, in addition to the transportation, the Adams County Transit Act, she's also with Council on Aging, working on trying to improve that courtyard. And she's got a fairly big budget to redo that courtyard, which currently is unusable except, so she of course redid the library into an activity center for seniors. She put a bathroom in there. She put 2 double doors in there going out to the courtyard. So she's currently holding a fundraiser, or an ongoing fundraiser to try and raise money to make that courtyard.
Right.
So if there's anybody that's so inclined to support that project, she would certainly appreciate it.
Sure.
Did you have a chance to talk to the bill about both?
I did not. I did not.
We, last week, we did that, and I told you that was to pay that little excavating and keep right. Wanda just sent me a message to make sure that I brought that up. I said, I'm pretty sure I did that last week. So we got something cleared up with that flagpole stuff. We hadn't got an invoice, we had only gotten a quote from that Smith Directors. So we were working with John Summers, we finally got the invoice, it actually came in higher than what it was supposed
They
to
were
be, but we called
preparing
John to get
qualified
approval
letters
that that is
for
correct.
the landowners along the road.
So
But
we
at
got
this point,
4,600 or something left in ARPA.
Great.
And we still are gonna have one bill
Update
come in from
appraisals.
Urban Electric.
Trending. So I guess that's a marker.
If we don't have enough in ARPA, then
Yeah.
we'll have to probably pay it out of infrastructure.
Rick, I assume that
You know, I
the electric
Yeah.
raising and lowering of the flag is still not working, is that correct? Or something got that repaired yet? Or haven't got that finished, I guess is the right way to put that. Never finished that project. So did you have to go up the other day and replace the flag?
Actually, I did it this morning.
A little bit disappointed, you know.
You've seen that, you know, I'm not a big Facebook person.
I saw-
I've seen that on the.
Renovating.
I saw
part of
that.
the house.
Yeah.
The one building in the corner there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I told the girls.
But I think when,
Judge-
with the Fair Board, I think
Uh-huh.
the Fair Board said, hey, this might be a chance for the
Yeah.
golden parachute. You know,
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
I just told you this was.
Yeah.
you know, and all at once now they're discussing a separate building or an add, or
Absolutely.
add on to the Clover Center building. You know, now we've gone from renovating rather cheaply to a major project. And-
Well,
And I think you left it with them, let's, you know, just out of curiosity, get some estimates of what you're looking at. What do you think?
even if they took a couple portable trailers or.
Are you glad we didn't get rid of the flagpole out front yet?
Even if they pulled them inside the building. And then at fair times.
You know, the bill, I think probably if you went down there right now, part of that building would be taken up. I don't know if Circus, Monroe, the Best One, I don't know if they're still utilizing some of that for storage or not.
Oh.
So,
See, the last time I saw it in the winter time, that other side, the east side, it was all full of campers and boats.
Yeah.
RVs.
I know, it's
I don't
beautiful
know,
up there, I love it up there.
you know, it's,
so-
again, you know, you think something that should
When the wind destroys a
be a
flag,
pretty simple fix turns into a major issue.
Well, yeah, and then you.
Sheriff, have you got anything for us? We're kind of tap dancing here, we're filling time. Why don't you come up here and tap dance a little bit for us?
I'm sure you've heard issues we're having with phones and radios.
Yeah.
Radio's not so much your issue, but the phones are. Last time we did a test, we were getting our admin line, 911, we have not had issues with. So our emergency call phones are, they're fine. But our admin lines, we're getting about 50% use. So we call
Brad-
36
Brad's saying the
times,
same
about 15 of the calls go through. The problem with that is though, we get calls from private security companies, from alarms, that they don't call us, we don't send anybody. That's one, but even a bigger issue is the life alert calls. These are life and death situations, someone's fallen, someone's passed out, and they call us and it just drops, they get nothing. So we're not dispatching any type of medical personnel to these people. And this has been going on almost 10 straight days. And we're really not getting any feedback from the phone people. All they say is, we're working on it.
Well, were you here? Mike Brown was in here earlier this morning. And we've agreed he's gonna go to council next week. And we're gonna, it's not a short-term fix, but long-term, we're gonna replace that phone system.
Gotcha.
We're gonna get a different way that those phone calls come into us, so we're not relying on those local SIP trucks.
So the different provider
A different provider and a different
method.
strategy
Gotcha.
for our phone
Okay.
phone calls to get in here. Basically, they'll come into a set of SIP trunks in the cloud, for lack of a better way. And then we'll go directly to that cloud versus having those SIP trunks come in locally. And I think that's where the problem is those.
Because some
SIP
of
trunks
our
being
second,
delivered
third party
locally.
vendors are older, they don't have the money for the infrastructure and.
Yeah.
But Mark, did you say your private business is experiencing some
Yeah.
issues too?
Yeah, this is
So it's
widespread.
just not a county thing.
No,
Well-
but we've had issues in the past too.
We've been
with
having
ours.
issues for the last year.
Yes.
And this has been the longest that we've been down, basically. And my frustration is they tell us nothing other than, we're working on it.
Yeah.
They
Well,
don't tell us
I
where
got
the
the
problem
impression,
is.
I got the impression from Mike that, you know, Mark's gonna look at the contract with All-Star and then, you know, bring it back to us next week, but I got the impression that it could happen fairly quickly.
I think yeah.
Well, I know there's purchasing guidelines, however, I think we can go to an emergency
Yeah,
action
we're
because
talking
this
about the way to get
is,
through that.
for us, it is emergency.
Yeah.
The
I
question
mean,
is, what sort of alternative route out and in can we have? You know, would that involve some sort of maybe Starlink satellite connection that totally bypasses the trunk that we're using now? The
Gotcha.
problem is, I thought we had a backup cell or point-to-point connection. But if it's going point to point from the jail to the tower, and then it's going from tower fiber to wherever, then that's where it's still hitting the bottleneck. Or
Correct.
it's still hitting the problem. And so probably the only way to have some sort of different route would be satellite. And maybe we could dedicate an emergency circuit just for sheriff's department and, 911.
Cause Brightspeed, they are bringing 24 lines of fiber into the building over at my place. I'm not real sure. They're dropping a box outside of 96 and then splitting 24 off and bringing those in the building. So I don't know if that's a different route that we could possibly use too.
Maybe.
But
Problem is, a lot of those places, they all
They
eventually
link and
end up to the
join.
same trunk line.
correct.
It
You know,
is-
we've been wrestling with this, broadband line that's running from Columbus, Ohio to Chicago, running through our county. We've seen them out burying that
Mhm.
fiber and the kind of the knee-jerk reaction is, well, it's not benefiting our county. Ultimately, it sure could be whenever we rely on that backbone
Correct.
for many things we just don't even know about.
Cause right now we have one source backbone going down towards Indy, basically. And if there's a problem there, then
Yeah.
there's a problem. So, but I'm glad to hear stuff was talked about, cause like I said, that's what I want to bring up today.
I feel it's an emergency. We're gonna look at how quickly we can get All-Star Communication working on trying to provide us a better solution.
Gotcha.
While you're here, Sheriff, have you made any progress on your shooting range?
The city BZA wants to come out and put eyes on the property and, cause the maps we give them, they just weren't comfortable understanding what that is. So they're supposed to be making a meeting to come out and, the board members come out on site And then we have a meeting, I believe it's the 16th of December, and then we should have an answer at that point.
Okay, good.
So, like I said, the public discussion is over. We had that meeting. So when we come back, they might have questions for me or something like that, but it's basically, they'll render a decision hopefully on the 16th.
There won't be any more public discussion.
No more public discussion. I asked that when I was leaving that meeting because we had a few people that were against it. They're worried, they live over 100 East. But I can't change their mindset, no matter what I say, is not changing the fears they have.
Sure.
So, hopefully, the members will understand it, and when they come out and see the height of the berms that we're doing and.
Well, and I think some of the things that people have to understand is, number one, you need to train, you need an area to train, you need your area to train. And the people that are gonna be using that range are professionals.
Correct.
You know, it's not like a bunch of drunken uncles that got a new rifle for Christmas. They're, you know, it's professional,
Yeah.
trained people that are gonna be using that range.
Yeah, and that's one of the hiccups that most people have. Well, why don't you keep shooting at your burn, or why can't you shoot at with the Decatur's range, or why can't you go to Blue Cricket? I said, well, first of all, Blue Cricket's a private range. I would have to schedule around their schedule, or when I'm on their range is shut down to the public. So I'm sure some of their members might not be happy. But again, shooting on other people's range, I'm restricted to what they tell me I can do. And if something happens on the Decatur range, even though we're not shooting there, we're still gonna get tied into any litigation if something happens. I wanna be responsible for my stuff and my people. I can control. I have no control what happens on Decatur's range. I have no control what happens on Burn Range. Burn Range, we're already restricted to 3:30 in the afternoon and after, except the weekends. And usually my shooting is gonna be done between 9 and 8. And one time during the year, this time of year, we shoot in the evening, but it gets dark at 5. We're done shooting still by 8 p.m. So I'm hoping they will understand those issues and.
Well, I think people have to understand how important it is for your officers to be proficient with their firearm.
Well, it's important that way. It's required by state law, so many hours of training, and that and driving are 2 biggest liabilities. We gotta drive well, and if you're gonna end up pulling the trigger, you better know what you're doing.
Right.
So, I seem pretty positive about it. But like I said, they couldn't get the full conception by looking at a flat map. They want to come out to the scene of it. Not a
Good, I
problem.
don't blame them.
Yep, not a
Yeah.
problem.
I might
Maybe
wanna
if
do
you
that
shoot
too.
some drone footage, you know, as far as lift off from the site and show them.
Yeah, but right now it's gonna change tremendously from what it is now, because we are reshaping that to better fit our drainage and things like that. So it's gonna be basically the same location, but it is gonna shift a little bit.
You don't have anybody that can create the graphics to show what it will be.
Not exactly. Nate's been doing a great job providing me the diagrams and the current maps, what we have, and showing elevations and how wide it's gonna be and all that.
Right, but I mean, you know, the architectural graphics.
Well, when it's done, we will do an as-built, but it's gonna be done at that point. It's hard to do an as-built until it's built.
I mean, when I draw up a home on the computer, you can look at it from any.
Well, I'm trying to do this most cost effective as possible, and to have that done, it's gonna cost me some money for someone to do that.
Gotcha.
So, and that's not been asked of me to do that by any of the boards. What they've asked, we've gotten, Nate has gotten, and prepared for me. So, Nate's been great working with me on this aspect. He's done a lot of the research. He's got sites from Army Corps of Engineers and all that. We got the drainage plan. We know what we have to do if it gets approved. We'll have to do, erosion control plan. See, I'm learning. Erosion control plan, to have that submitted, but, it still can be done. It's just, I'm starting to run out of time if I want to get it done so we can use it in the spring. But
Sure.
if we can get approved on the 16th, I think we're still gonna be all right.
Stop tap dancing now, Mark.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is on site south of the jail.
Yes, right behind
Southeast.
the bullpen. Yep, where the big mound of dirt
Yep.
is right now.
Yep.
We're just reshaping that, put in a couple French drains so we don't screw up the drainage at all, and adding dirt that the city's gonna provide for us. We get it to our sites.
It's gonna be rifle and pistol.
Yes. Yep.
Good.
All right. You guys done?
Sheriff,
Yep, we're
Yeah,
done.
because the main guy's
You're
here
out,
now.
you're out of
Your
here.
filler's out.
Rick, a thought before we move on?
I was just gonna ask Sheriff, I think this is what they did. Delaware County, have you ever been in their shooting range?
I have not.
They dug a hole. Mounted it, and then they got erosion and everything, but they were having problems too with people complaining. Well, they dug a hole, so now they're down in the hole shooting
Well, we're not gonna be in a hole, but we are shooting
into a dirt.
downward. Yes, I'm
They
downward.
dug a hole for theirs and then mounted the dirt
Mhm.
up.
Hey, Mark, come on up. Thanks, Rick.
Sorry for being late.
Hey,
Screw the tire.
doggone it.
Tony told you that.
He did. That stinks.
You know, the last flat tire I had that had a horseshoe nail on it.
This
Just be irresponsible.
job site screw.
Yeah.
This was a job site horseshoe.
700, 200 east, 700, no, 300 east, 700 south.
Basically right at 650. So 650 T's goes that way. Right at next. So one lot right here, that's, can't read, 29 acres. Is being split. Instead of this being one piece, taking this piece out of it, giving it to a son who's built a barn, we live in quarters. And the easement to get to that barn, right here, so it comes off of 200. Yeah, there's a big deep creek right there. We talked about putting a bridge in, so he just went straight on the cost of the bridge. He decided not to, so sharing the same lane as there's some homes here.
So this up here is not a road.
No, no. So 650 comes and it just tees right in there. 650 is only 2 miles long.
Okay.
That's Phil Eicher.
Yeah, Phil lives right there.
Okay, you guys okay with this?
Yep, motion approved.
Okay, motion by Stan, seconded by Doug.
One more. Here.
Oh, same one.
Well, I think it's having an oil change. You know, we just got that car this year and I told you we're busy.
Yeah.
The next oil change will be 20,000 miles.
Wow.
Jeez.
We've already put 15 on.
Wow. In a small county.
I always say I drive thousands of miles a year and go nowhere. This guy, 200 east, between 1,000 north and 1,100 north. And they're taking this one big triangle and creating 3 lots. So they broke out lot 1, has these buildings on it, and it's not, they're going farther out and where just the grass is today. And then what's left around it, and then they split out a 4-acre lot.
Okay.
Is that's currently farm ground in here?
Yes, yep, all farm ground, it stops right there. This is not part of
Who's the?
it. The fronds.
Okay,
I mean, you approve.
okay. Motion by Stan, seconded by Doug.
Fronds or Franzi, I'm not sure how you say it.
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
Thanks, Mark.
Sorry
Sorry about your time. It always stinks.
How'd you get it repaired?
I stopped by Secure Auto, because I was in that neighborhood and they wanted it there.
Did they? Oh, good.
You guys said technically it's on the sidewall, you know, you should get a new tire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna nurse it.
Probably they could-
But I'll get it
Yeah,
out.
I'd get it, take it out to Zerkers or somewhere and get a new tire on it.
Never know.
That's not going through, I'll probably get tired about 10,000 miles.
Yeah.
New set altogether anyway.
They've been delivered, so. Okay, anything from the public? Anything from the public?
So I go-
Anything else? No, Stan left.
It's gone already.
Okay. We'll wait on Stan.
Wait, I'm standing adjourned.
Before we adjourn.
Ladder couldn't wait any longer.
I hear you, I get it, I'm right. What happens when you get old?
I always joke that my alarm clock is my bladder,
Yeah.
because I wake up about 4 times a night to take a piss.
If it gets any worse, we'll have to put a porta pot right over there.
Just put before.
Still on, they're still on here.
People enjoy these
Sidebar conversation.
sidebar
Yeah.
moments.
I don't have 25 Explorers. Somebody had to get them last year. Could be.
Cause it's, the reason I thought it was you is it said,
But it's, that's why I said to Explorer and police, but we don't have.
okay, I'll take that up to health, I think. About there.
Yeah, cause we, I said, no, we don't have it. Cause, Troy's the only Explorer we have now and they're older, so.
Still on. We gotta get Stan back here so we can adjourn the meeting.
Couldn't adjourn without Stan.
Yeah,
We could have, but I wouldn't.
nothing is happening in the public, so we're ready to adjourn.
Nothing for the public. Stan, anything else?